From the capital city of Charleston, West Virginia, this is Inside West Virginia Politics with Rick Johnson. Inside West Virginia Politics is brought to you by AARP West Virginia, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State, and by Williamson Health and Wellness Center, working to open doors to broader health care in southern West Virginia and eastern Kentucky. Now, Inside West Virginia Politics.
Welcome to Inside West Virginia Politics. I am Rick Johnson, and joining us is Dr. Angie Settle. She is the CEO of West Virginia Health Right here in Charleston.
Yes. Hey.
Hello and welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for the invite.
It is so good to have you here. For one
you.
thing, your organization, West Virginia Health Right, how would you describe the mission of Health Right?
Well, the mission of Health Right is pretty simple, just to provide access to health care to people regardless of their income status or insurance status. So we see people who have no insurance or either have Medicaid or Medicare, and they have to be under 250% federal poverty level. So we're looking at people on the lower income side of life. Most people work. It's just, they struggle with those everyday costs of like health insurance and all that. So we're there to help them.
And what's it like to be serving the community in such a way?
Well, I always tell people I'm a proud Appalachian, born and raised. Came from a long line of Appalachian women. So it always makes me feel good to give back to West Virginia and to our community. So any way that we find a new program or anything that does that, it always makes me feel good and fulfilled.
I'm looking at a list of things that the West Virginia Health Right has been doing in the last couple of years. I see expansion of the East End Clinic. We also have the opening of a new facility on the west side. And taking over the former Shape Shop, also on the west side.
Yes.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we've been really busy. I've been the CEO 11 years. I've been with Health Right almost 30 years, but CEO 11 years. And we've had a lot of growth where we've now have 3 stationary sites. We have 3 mobile clinics now. The most recent one, the mobile teaching kitchen. We have the medical clinic. We have the mobile dental clinic. So a lot going on, and basically just trying to meet people where they are.
And I know that you are now with the, as you say, the teaching. The mobile teaching kitchen is the newest thing, and you had the dedication actually at the governor's mansion last month.
We were blessed to have a visit from the First Lady, Denise, and she really, liked the idea, and then that's where we kind of came up with the whole concept, because it really does. We want to thank the governor, of course, he did put some extra money in the budget. The legislature did it, and then he passed it, though. It was extra $1 million for those free and treatable clinics that do mobile services, because they see the value in it. So that kind of brought the conversation to light, and this really marries great with the concept of trying to expand health in West Virginia and make people healthier. We love that. So this clinic, this mobile teaching clinic, takes a lot of the concepts that we have in our stationary clinics, or we have teaching kitchens, and we teach people how to use healthy, fresh vegetables and foods, and make things that are palatable and they taste good. And we have to understand that eating healthy food does not have to always taste terrible. In West Virginia, we're not going to do a lot of tofu and that kind of stuff probably. But this is using fresh things out of your garden and really trying to limit anything that's preservatives and additives and all the things that your body really doesn't need.
So a kitchen and a clinic at the same time on wheels.
Actually, yes. So when I say clinic, there's a healthcare component. We check BMIs, we're checking blood pressures. We can check A1C, some blood work. There's a nurse that goes along. And then we're doing the healthy part, which is showing people how to cook great, amazing, fresh food on a budget. And we give them a small sample of that, of course. So, just trying to engage people. A lot of times you can't bring people in for healthcare, but you can bring them in for food. We do that in West Virginia here, even when somebody passes or whatever. The way we show our love is with food. We like to bake and everything. So it's an important part of life, and we want to take it to non-traditional settings and some of the fairs and festivals, and really just bring people in. It's like, what are you all doing? We're beside of the Twinkie cart or whatever, fried Twinkie cart, and have them say, well, what are you doing? And then actually get them taste it, and then we're sharing recipes and a lot of health habits.
We have about a minute remaining. I want to touch on also the hashtag We Care West Virginia Day,
Yes.
which is October the 18th, and it's
Yes,
free.
absolutely.
You had your first one last year.
Yes. So we've done a free clinic every October for multiple years. We worked with RAM for a while, but we kind of outgrew them, and we came up with our homegrown name of We Care West Virginia. Last year we've had it at our main clinic because we expanded, and this will be year 2 of it, but it's vision, dental, healthcare, vaccines, things like that, all in one day. And we saw 500 people in one day last year, so we'll be doing that again this year.
And that's it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it
so much.
so much.
Appreciate you for the invite. Thank
You
you
bet. And that is Dr. Angie Settle. She is the CEO of West Virginia Health Rights. We'll take a break and be right back with more of Inside West Virginia Politics. Welcome back to Inside West Virginia Politics. I'm Rick Johnson, and joining us now is Mike Stewart. Among other things, Mike, you were the chair of the state Republican Party way back in the day.
Almost a different lifetime ago.
It was, and then after that, you've done other things like you've been the U.S. District Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia, and now you've got other things going. Welcome to Inside West Virginia Politics.
Well, thanks very much for having me. I appreciate being here.
Absolutely. What was it like back in the day when you were going to be the chairman of the state Republican Party when there wasn't that many Republicans?
It's remarkable today. You look at West Virginia, almost everywhere. In fact, everywhere in West Virginia has transformed from what was deep blue to now stark red. It's very Trump. It's very conservative. It was always conservative, but I think people realize we can do better. And so back then, you could put all the Republicans, there weren't that many. You could put them into a phone booth. For those folks who don't know what a phone booth is, you can look it up on the internet. And things have changed quite a bit, but it's been a remarkable ride. We're almost today, the Republican Party, you could almost say we're victims of our success. We have more internal struggle than we do with the minority party. And but it's been an incredible ride. If you were to have asked me years ago, as a young boy growing up in the coal fields of West Virginia with a grandpa at that little white house overlooking that Red Creek from acid mine drainage and that coal tipple, in a family where nobody had gone to college before, that I would someday be the Republican Party chairman in a huge Democrat family, I would have said no way. If you were to say that I would have been nominated by an American president to be the United States attorney, I would have said that is an impossible dream. And but it's been a great ride. I love serving as the U.S. attorney, love working for the administration, and love the work we did there. I think it was good work.
Speaking of state politics, there is talk that there will be a special session or the possibility of a special legislative session this month. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's certainly up to the governor, and I know that there's an effort to try to get consensus on the issue before we come together, because special sessions hopefully last a day or 2 days. And so I still think there's a lot of work to do, but I know those calls are being made to try to understand what the subject matter will be and what the fix will be for PEIA. It's a tremendous challenge for West Virginia. But I'm one of those people that appreciate the work of those folks who work for government, those people who are teachers who rely on PEIA. Mm-hmm. Many of those folks chose those jobs not for the pay, but because of the benefits. Mm-hmm. And I've said for a very long time, if we're going to privatize or move toward a closed system with respect to PEIA, we need to respect that those salaries aren't privatized. So these are big subjects, but I think we're doing a good job dealing with the spiraling costs of health care. And this is an area where nobody will ever be fully satisfied. But I am hopeful that soon we'll get a permanent solution in place for PEIA.
Let's talk about the presidential nomination to serve as general counsel for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. You were nominated, now waiting for confirmation. What's that like?
Well, it's a waiting process. I don't know what to compare it to, because when I was in Trump 45, it's a long confirmation process. It goes through the Senate. First, you have to get the nomination of the president. Big deal. And I was fortunate, one of the few West Virginians, to be in Trump 45 and to be nominated to get confirmed. Now I've been nominated for an even bigger role as general counsel. Heck, I'll have about 600 counsel working for me at the Department of Health and Human Services. I will work with Secretary Kennedy every single day. But that process, it can be a painful process, but I have great respect. I've been spending time meeting with individual senators from across the country. Great folks, both Republican and Democrat, great discussions. And I think we're getting close. But it's up to the Senate. But we're preparing. I'm ready to serve in that role once confirmed.
30 seconds we have remaining. You look like you've lost a few pounds. You look healthier. Congratulations.
Well, when you're going to work for Secretary Kennedy, you got to get in fighting shape, because no cabinet secretary ever has been in that great a shape. And so I got to be honest, so I'm in the process of transitioning. I'm in Washington quite a bit. I'm here in West Virginia. I've been trying to watch what I eat. I've been trying to take the philosophy of the secretary. And I want to make sure when I'm there, I'm able to keep up with one of the probably most active presidents and most active secretaries in the history of our country. And so, yeah, I feel good. I'm in fighting shape. I'm getting in fighting shape. And by the time I get there, hopefully I'll be ready.
Mike, always good to see you.
Hey, thank you very
what's
much.
That drip there? Oh, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Mike Stewart, our guest on Inside West Virginia Politics. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside West Virginia Politics. Our next guest is Wheeling Mayor Denny Magruder, who just a few weeks ago was going through a disastrous flood in his city, in his community, Ohio County here in West Virginia. And I thought it'd be a good time to check in with the mayor today and find out how things are going. I remember, Mayor, one of the things you said in our first interview a couple of weeks ago is, please, we appreciate all of the well wishes and thoughts and prayers right now and the help from everyone, but please don't forget us a couple of weeks or months down the road. And that resonated with me, so I wanted to bring you back on today to see how things might be going. So welcome to the program.
Thank you, Rick. And again, things here are going pretty well. I think the recovery is progressing, but as we did say a couple of weeks ago, this is a long journey. You know, we haven't been done cleaning up yet. People are still mucking out mud and other things. So there's a long way to go. We can still use help. I think if we space it out over time, it's going to be more productive for our victims here. But we really appreciate the help and the rally that everybody's given us. The state of West Virginia has been amazing. The federal government is involved at this point. Hopefully all that's going to turn out in a very positive manner. But I can't say enough about the local folks and how they've rallied. Not only the first responders, who have been just amazing, but the community itself, outsiders, faith-based groups, the public in general. The support has just been outstanding.
Give us some idea of how things are today compared to right after the flood hit a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I can tell you this, Rick. Many roads were closed at the time. Now, several of those roads are reopened. Although they haven't been completely refinished, they've been reopened so people can gain access to their homes and so that volunteers can gain access to providing assistance. So that's one major thing. Much of the debris has been removed in terms of vehicles and all from the creek, but there's still an awful lot of debris there. Things are just progressing. I think it's going to take some time. The National Guard's been amazing, Department of Highways, and of course the communities here. Our own city employees have been outstanding, working multiple hours, long days. The heat and humidity have kind of been brutal here. You know, since that flooding, we've had multiple 90-degree days with 80% and up humidity, so that makes the working conditions much more difficult. But it's coming along, and the one thing it has done, it's produced the best of our community again. People have been just so outgoing, so helpful, so compassionate. And that's allowing people to get through it because, you know, hope has been strained for these folks. They've lost homes, they've lost family members and friends, they've lost their automobiles, they've lost their memories. And so now with people rallying around, helping them heal, but the healing process is still going to take a long time.
The death toll, unfortunately, last I heard, was 9.
The death toll is 9 at this point. We have accounted for all the people that have been registered as missing. The only thing now would be, Rick, if somebody turns up that didn't have someone report their absence. So at this point, it stands at 9, yes.
And Governor Morrisey has been in the Wheeling area since the disastrous flood 4 times or more, I believe.
Governor Morrisey, I believe, has been here 4 times, and he's been amazing. He's not only provided the help, but he's provided the hope. The fact that he's here, people see that he's here is very, very meaningful. It does help along this path. And I just can't say enough about the organizations that have come from out of town. As recently as yesterday, we still had some people streaming in. We've got Samaritan's Purse here. We've got 9 Days of Hope. We have a group called Y'all that are more national assistance-related groups beside all the local folks who are rallying out there. So things are getting better. I know most of the folks in the area get nervous when the skies are gray and they see rain on the way. We have had another flooding incident since that major incident on the 14th. So yeah, things are a little difficult.
Mayor, thank you so much for joining us again today. We appreciate it very much. We wish you and yours a happy and a safe 4th of July weekend. And
Rick, thank you. We wish the same to all fellow West Virginians. You know, Mountaineers are pretty resilient people, and we'll win this battle.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
That's Mayor Denny Magruder of Wheeling. We'll take a break and be right back on Inside West Virginia Politics. Welcome back to Inside West Virginia Politics. I'm Rick Johnson. Emmett Pepper is with us. He is the Policy Director for Energy Efficient West Virginia. And Emmett, good to have you back on the program today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it very much. This week in Charleston, West Virginians for Energy Freedom had a briefing on a statewide results from a new statewide poll, energy related. Can you kind of pick it up from there?
Yes, so we wanted to get a sense of how important were energy and utility bills to West Virginians, and what are their thoughts on that. And we knew that it was an important issue for folks, but I don't know that even we were thinking it is quite a high priority. Before there are any questions asked at all about getting into energy and all that stuff, the first question when asked was, well, what are some of your top priorities? And the number one priority for Republican lawmakers, and top 3 overall, not lawmakers, voters, was energy bills. And so this is an issue that is top of mind for voters. And sadly, our legislators, our elected officials at the state legislature has done nothing this past session to do anything about it.
So what about you say this was the overall sample, the Republicans and Democrats?
We had Republicans and Democrats, and it was, and I'm no polling expert. We hired a polling firm that looked at and got it to be representative of the state, yes.
All right, and what about those who are President Trump supporters? What did they say?
Same thing. They said, the same as Republicans, they said, look, this is a top issue for us. And so, and the question, we started asking more questions, and what their answers was, look, what we want is for you to do what's best for us, ratepayers. We want to have lower bills, and we want to have lots of different ways to do that. So, one of the questions we asked, because we know that there's a history of coal generation here, a history of coal miner support, and a history of employment through that. And we said, well, would you be willing to pay more just to keep the coal plants online or to support coal? No. Would you be willing to pay more to have go solar, to have it be more solar energy? Not really for that either. So it's really that they want to do what is best for them. And if they can save money by going solar, they're all about that. They want to make that as easy as possible.
So they're really concerned about the cost.
That's right.
Of what it takes to get electricity to their home.
Yes. Probably not a shocker for anybody watching, but it really, it is something that it's not being reflected in the actions of our state legislature or from our president. I mean, so Trump voters, as you said, are very supportive of doing something about this. The main source of support from the federal government, low-income heating assistance, energy assistance program, the president zeroed out in his budget, and that's still pending. It's still not moving, but so there'll be a process for that, I'm sure. But the state didn't do anything. The federal government, and here in the southern part of the state, the half of a state that uses AEP utilities, they're not doing anything. They're saying they're going to get rid of supporting a program that allows people to avoid having their electric shut off. What about this Ratepayers Bill of Rights? Yeah, so we, apart from the poll results, but also just from talking to people, we've seen that there are some real issues with the rights that we believe people should have. So things like fair and reasonable rates, reliable and safe service, transparent and accurate billing, disconnection protections, renewable energy access, fair representation and dispute resolution, and public participation and engagement. And so a lot of these things are in our state code. A lot of these things are done to some extent, but there is room for improvement on all of them. And so we lay out some of the specifics. It's through our coalition, which is called West Virginians for Energy Freedom. And energy freedom is all about having choices. If you want to do things to reduce your energy costs, go solar, be more efficient, you should have that ability to do that. Buy from a community solar. And we should not be subsidizing things that are not cost effective.
And so how can one get more information or read the results of this poll, and also maybe get more information about the Ratepayers Bill of Rights?
Yes, West Virginia's for Energy Freedom Coalition, so it's energyfreedomwv.org, and you can find all that information on there. For AEP customers, there's also an opportunity to participate in the currently planned rate increase that's pending. Okay,
so one more time, the results, sort of generally speaking, of the poll?
Is that people are concerned about electric bills. They do not want to pay more. They want to do whatever is right to reduce their bills, and they want to have the ability to do things on their own to reduce their bills.
Emmett, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you.
You too.
That's Emmett Pepper. He is the Energy Efficient West Virginia Policy Director. Thanks for being here. And that's going to do it for Inside West Virginia Politics this weekend. We will see you next week right here. Join us.